Hey everybody, welcome to The Art of Comics. It's me, Andres Salazar. This is the channel we talk about comics, illustration, film, and as the title suggests, we are going to talk about Scorsese's, I think, first major film, Mean Streets, from 1973. I am a film creator, critic, comic book artist, podcaster, a bunch of stuff. Go check out my Patreon, the link below. You can see all the creative activities I'm up to. Check that out. Also, subscribe to this channel. I have other channels, one on music, one on kind of vlogs and personal trips, and check all that stuff out. Now, we've done the commercials. Let's get with the show. I've seen this movie 1.5 times. I have a lot of thoughts. I have some ideas about this film, but this is not an easy film necessarily to talk about because I'm still kind of processing it. I don't know this film as well as some of the other movies that Scorsese's done, but I saw it was available. I've been wanting to see it for a while. I even put on the red light because he uses an extreme amount of red light in that bar. So let's talk about it. If I were to give you like a log line of it and just think about what I feel the themes of the film are, we'll do that before we go scene by scene. I feel like this movie is about a couple of young guys, Italian guys in the 70s of New York together. There's friendship. There's camaraderie. They're at different stages of their career, we'll say, or life. They have different values. And it all comes to a head at the end. And they realize that it's not fun and games. Criminal life, being a mobster type is not easy. And it's not forgiving. And the streets are mean. And so we're going to go and talk about Bobby De Niro, who plays Johnny Boy, opposite Harvey Keitel, who plays Charlie. There's also two more characters in this little quartet, is Tony and Michael. So we start off the film. First, let me just say about how the film is shot. I think it is really well put together. I love these 70 films. I love the grittiness. I love the dirtiness, the real set dressing or whatever they're doing, either just shooting it on location, guerrilla, whatever. It's really nice. I love some of the camera movement. I love the shots. Photography, great. This also was a film that I believe was one of the first film that used a lot of modern music and pop cultured music in the film. And so that is an element of the film that's very powerful. And we know Scorsese does this for his other films down the road. But Jumpin' Jack Flash, Rolling Stones is featured in this, and it's perfect. I mean, there's just some great blends of the music of the times, which really helps. It really helps. If you're making a film and you got the cash, you got to put some music, man. You got to put some real music. You got to put some freaking pops, some tunes. It costs a lot, but man, it sure felt like it was perfect. So let's start off. Let's go through this and we'll just chat as we go. Early morning, we start off with Charlie, who's played by Harvey Keitel. Wakes up. Something's going on internally, but we don't really know what it is. And there is a thought I had: is this like a flashback? Because in a way, he does get hurt at the very end, so I don't think it is. But it would be kind of cool if this was like actually the end of the film, this very beginning. We cut to these like home movie type of film. I don't know if this is like 8mm or what, but we kind of cut to these like home movie, which again reinforces this idea of friendship, camaraderie, family. These guys kind of in a jovial state, so we're setting up this kind of dynamic. Then really the first scene, besides the little intro, is this guy shooting heroin. He gets kicked out. We see Tony. Tony's kind of the frustrated bar owner. He's the guy who's in this bar, which is kind of the main location for most of this movie, which is heavily, like I mentioned before, colored with lots of red. He's kind of the frustrated bar owner. We jump to Johnny Boy, played by Bobby De Niro. And he is putting a pipe bomb in a mailbox, blows that up. So something's going on there. It was basically for shits and giggles. He did not make money off it. He's not a gangster. He's just like a hooligan, basically. That's a little snapshot of that. Harvey Keitel, Charlie at a mass. He's talking to the priest. And we get this idea of he doesn't really believe in God, but he seems to be a good guy. You know, he's not hurting nobody at this moment. We see Michael. Michael is a gangstery type. You know, he buys these, he thinks are German lenses. They're actually Japanese adapters. And so we see that he's not maybe the best at his job. He is a lower rung kind of mobster guy, and he's maybe not doing the best deals, maybe not the best, like, not the expert of the group. At the Harvey Keitel church moment, we go into pain. He talks about pain, like spiritual pain and physical pain, and the spiritual pain is more painful. It's more important or more impactful. Cut right to the bar and the girls dancing, signifying, you know, the spiritual depravity of the bar, the sexual deviance, or, you know, illicit affairs and, you know, desires of the flesh with bar and all that kind of stuff. So this is our location where shit goes down, stuff goes sideways, and this is their home. This is like where they hang out. This is their playground. And then we see the full scene of Johnny Boy. He comes here. He's got these two girls with him, and right away, he's a joker. He's a jack-off. Or jerk-off, I think they say. He has debts. I do love the Rolling Stones. The slow motion is perfect. The slow, you know, and I do like that. You gotta kind of like Johnny in the beginning. For me, this is my thought. I do kind of like Johnny in the very beginning, because he's like, hey man, he's carefree. He does what he wants. Blah blah blah. And Johnny's telling these stories. There's some good dialogue, and we get his character right away. Right away, we know who Johnny is. Not only because of the pipe bomb, but the fact that he's broke, he owes all these debts, and he's telling these stories, and it's like, okay, we know this guy. He's like solidified in our mind as who he is. Then we have this deal where we learn about Charlie working for his uncle. And I couldn't tell. He has this encounter with this guy called Oscar, who's like a restaurateur, owns a restaurant. And looks like Charlie might take over that restaurant. He works for his uncle in some sort of capacity. I'm not sure if he's like an extortionist or puts a squeeze on people. It wasn't super clear. But basically, he doesn't want Oscar to be hurt. He is The uncle wants Charlie to chill out, give him time, be patient. I'm not really sure about some of this. And again, I've seen this once. I might have to watch this multiple times. If I was doing a video on The Godfather, you know what I mean? There's so much going on in that movie. So there could be some more levels. There could be some things I missed. And I admit that. So just know that this video, it's coming a little bit more raw than others. I haven't been able to process this too much. I'm not giving you information like as an expert on the film. Just telling you what I think. We have a street scene with Michael. We see him kind of hustling kids for firecrackers. Again, I don't see Michael as a real contender for upper management, shall we say. But that's what he's up to. And then we have some like friendship. They're fighting together. They're with each other. They're against each other. And it's this crew. You really get these different guys, but they're friends. To a degree, because you also see how Michael is getting perturbed with Johnny Boy. He owes money. It's been a while. He's got some kind of bogus job at the docks or whatever to get some money, and he's not showing up. And so Michael is leaning on Charlie to help, or maybe Charlie's just going to step it up and say, hey, I will resolve this. So Charlie's kind of taking a little bit of that on himself. I ask myself many times in this film, why? Why is Charlie doing this? Because I see that Charlie really cares for Johnny. There is a deep friendship, but I do question why Charlie sticks his neck out so much. I mean, they're just best friends. That's it, probably. That's it. That's a story. Again, like Scorsese's other films, a lot of it is about the storytelling that they're doing, and that's kind of we learning about them and just kind of having fun anecdotes and things like that. Then there's this murder in the bathroom. There's a murder. The David Carradine character gets murdered by this young up-and-coming kid who wants to kind of make a name for himself by protecting the honors, so to speak, of his kind of boss, thinking that this would kind of move him up. And so that happens. The guys bail out of the situation, out of the bar, and they pick up there's these two gay guys that are like friends of, I think it's Michael, and they get in the car with them. This is kind of a weird scene, because I'm not really sure what it's supposed to show here. I'm not sure, is this supposed to be like, okay, these kind of flamboyant, loud gay guys are just, it's another lifestyle? Is it played a little bit for comedy? I'm not quite sure. But it's just a small moment. The gays are there, then they get kicked out of the car, and that's that. But it's a little random. It might just be showing kind of slice of life. These are the different types of characters in New York in the 70s. These are the types of characters that these Italian dudes would run across, and this is how they would interact. It might be as simple as that. Yeah, I think that's what it is, honestly. Then we go into another kind of like element where now we see, again, now we start building on that Johnny and Charlie friendship. They're both staying over at, I think it's Charlie's place, who lives close to Johnny's cousin. So this gets a little complicated, but Charlie has an apartment kind of across the view. I think it's the same building, but it could be the one next. It's kind of hard to tell how it works, but right next to Charlie is Teresa, who is Johnny's cousin. Okay? Johnny's uncle, who Charlie works for. Okay? Wait. Yeah, Charlie works for Johnny's uncle, who's Teresa's dad. I think that's the uncle. Or it could be Charlie's uncle. But Either way. It's a little confusing, damn it. We see Charlie and Teresa have this relationship. Unbeknownst of Johnny Boy, Robert De Niro does not know about this thing that Harvey Keitel is going on with Teresa. This is important because this is like just a whole section of the film that goes into their relationship. There is this love, making love in the bed and chatting and the all that kind of stuff. And it does feel a little bit like out of everything. It could be a whole separate movie, just their dynamic, the way it's shot, everything. There is some kind of fun playfulness with it, with the camera, with things they're doing. He's kind of hiding his eyes, goofing around, and some playfulness. But there's some strange stuff, too, in there. That there's one moment where he goes like this, and he goes bang, but you hear the shot of a real gun. And there's these little things that I'm not really sure what is going on. Clearly it's important, and she will be important. She's pivotal to this, but I just feel like there's a little kind of strangeness to it. But it's clear at this point, Charlie is our protagonist. He is our hero. He is what the movie is about. Johnny is this force that he's trying to rail in and protect from Michael, who owes money. Teresa, Johnny's cousin, has this relationship with her and trying to keep that on the down low, but he cares for her as well. So, we also learn kind of a side plot that kid that murdered David Carradine at the bar gets shipped to Miami for 6 months as like a penance. He's like, okay, you're gonna go to Miami, you're gonna cool off, you're gonna be okay. So that's his punishment. Maybe we think that could happen to somebody in the future as well. So the idea is now Charlie's uncle, his boss, says, hey, I'm going to, or maybe it's Johnny's uncle, just the uncle. We'll just call him the uncle. I'm not even damn sure. I'm getting pissed about it. The uncle says, hey, we're going to give you Oscar's restaurant. You're next in line. You're moving up. But because of that, he needs to cool off on Teresa. He needs to cool off with Johnny. He needs to now, he's moving up. You got to get rid of all these, things that are distracting you. These people. Now, Johnny is off shooting a gun on the roof, being a jerk-off. This is what gets me. At this moment of the film, I'm over Bobby. I'm over Johnny Boy. I'm over this character. There's been nothing... This is where I think the writing would be different now. Back then, you could just have a dude as an ass. And that's what Johnny is. He's just an ass. He's going around. He's collecting freaking debt. He's not paying. He's just being just an ass to people. He's an ass to Michael, in his face, to his pulling a gun on him, shooting guns, blowing shit up. He's just a menace. Just full stop, menace. Charlie might have known him since they were damn in kindergarten. I don't care. At some point, you got to cut this bastard off. Charlie doesn't. Charlie has this integrity, or whatever we're calling it, and he will not cut off Johnny. And that's the film, because that's what's going to happen. But he's a total jerk. I don't see what's going on. And we don't know where the pain is coming from Johnny. Because if we look at this, it's not... Clearly, he's being an ass because he's going through something. We don't really see what that is. They fight, they tussle, they're slapping each other. He does not like Charlie because Charlie is moving up, but we don't get a clear understanding of what's going on, what the pain is. I'm assuming it's because he's feeling, overlooked or feeling like he's a dummy. And so he's a dummy and everyone's told him he's a dummy. And so he's just going to act like a dummy. Right? And maybe it's as simple as that. And I guess I can accept it. Like, okay, then that's it. But I wish there was a little bit more for us to understand why Charlie just sticks his freaking neck out. That's my thought. Then there's this great action scene. Then we're ratcheting it up because Michael's like, hey, you owe me. You're supposed to be here tonight. You're 2 hours late. What's going on? And Johnny's like, hey, I don't care. You're a jerk off. I don't care what you want. I'm not giving you nothing. You suck. I owe everybody money. They don't ask me for money. You want money now? Forget you. I don't respect you. And that's like, okay. Charlie tries to fix it. Nope, not happening. At this moment, Charlie's like, okay, we got to get out of Dodge. We got to go out of town. We got to go to Atlantic City. I don't know where. We got to get out of here because they're going to hurt you. Right? So he's trying to protect Johnny. Teresa finds out about this. Of course, she's now third wheel. She's up in the mix. So there's this great scene now. Now we have Michael is putting on the hit on Johnny. And of course, I'm with Michael. I'm on Camp Michael now on this. I might kill that bastard. And Charlie shouldn't have been involved. So they're driving. There's a shootout. Johnny gets hit. Blood everywhere. Did she die? No, she's not dead. She gets hurt. She's wounded. He gets wounded, I think, in the hand. Car crashes. Great action. Great little scene. Great. I thought that was all really cool. And then at that moment, we have this like operatic wedding or some kind of event going on. So it's very kind of a theatrical. You're intercutting between the music of this like Italian opera or classical music with the drama of the crash. The ambulance comes. We assume that Johnny dies. Charlie goes in the ambulance. Teresa's there in the ambulance. We see the uncle. I wonder, is the uncle involved in some way? Is he involved in this at all? We don't know. We see shots of different people doing different things in this moment. And then that's where it ends. It just ends with Harvey Keitel going into the ambulance. And then I think there's some people or some just shots, some like B-roll shots of people closing their shades. The night's over and the next day, I guess. Again, I love the way it looked. I did love the acting, and I do like the story. Clearly, this is a calling card. This put him on the map. This is where Scorsese is like, okay, this is who this guy is. And as he grows as a creator, as he grows as a storyteller, it's amazing. This does feel like a rough version of like those other movies down the road, like a Goodfellas, things like that. It does feel like that. The camaraderie, the storytelling, that kind of stuff is wonderful, and that's partly the script and partly the acting. I thought it was well directed. It's a very well done movie. I just have a couple issues with some of those characters and their motivation, but that's just me wanting things to maybe be a little clearer, and life's not like that. Sometimes we don't know why people do what they do and why they protect each other and all that stuff. So you just gotta lump it. There's some really cool artistic ideas in here, some different things that are happening. It's not super clear, and that's okay. And that's my review of Mean Streets. That's good. There you go. I've got more coming, guys. We're doing this. I'm serious. Tomorrow I'm going to write the script out for the short. Then we're going to start looking for casting soon, and I'll let you guys know what that's all about. Check out the Patreon. You'll see all that there. And thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.